You do the good evening bit.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Nick.
I'm Elliot.
And tonight we're going to take you through the matchups for the UK Kings of War Masters. So, what we're doing tonight is we're generating the matchups. We're not only going to be generating who's playing who, but we're also going to be talking through their army lists and our thoughts on their lists.
What can go wrong with that?
Yeah, exactly.
We're reverting to the high-tech method. We have names in a bowl, which is a great way of doing it. We're doing this mainly so that when I can match Tom against Chris Colburn, he can complain even more. Because the random draw made it happen.
Gonna love it if that happens.
Oh, it'd be wonderful, won't it? We're also just briefly going to touch on, as we go through, a bit of what we know about those players, how they've played before. We're certainly not here to slam anybody. We didn't make it, so we can't talk too much about it. But it's going to be in good humour. And
we have Mr. Tom Robinson.
Come on, Chris.
Versus Mr. Dominic Stevenacre.
So, number 1 and number 2.
Yep, number 1 and number 2.
Sure. Just to prove that Chris, you're safe.
So, Tom Robinson, Dominic Stevenacre.
So, we've got UK number 1 versus UK number 2 in the current rankings. Everybody knows Tom. If you go look at Tom's rankings, you can see that he basically broke the system this year.
By winning every event he went to.
Everything he went to. I think he's on 7 first places so far this year of 9 tournaments. Point out the only 2 he lost I went to. Just saying.
Yeah. Did he lose to you?
One of them.
Oh.
One of them he did. Other one, no, I came up alone. But that doesn't count.
I thought you said it did count.
It's going to be an interesting matchup, this one. Dom's is a really interesting list, actually, for an Orc list. It's a bit different. There's a couple of things in here you wouldn't expect. I think Pathfinder on the Great Axe Horde is not an odd choice because it's a great big footprint, but you're not worrying about the charge, really, for this sort of unit. So it's an odd one.
I don't know. It can surprise you if he's using them as a second-line unit, which you kind of expect in a force like this. I mean, he's got his 3 troll hordes taking up the centre. They're going to be supported by the war drums, I'd have thought.
Yeah.
So that's decent chunk of nerve. And then if his opponent does manage to chew through those trolls, surprise, they've got a great axe horde charging them down.
You can't get away from the fact that it's fairly slow. I know it's speed 6, but...
Yeah, speed 5.
For the trolls, are they 5 or 6?
Oh, the trolls are 6, the great axe are 5.
Yeah. They've got the Gore Riders. There's a lot of shooting in Tom's list.
Yeah. This is a fairly slow list. I think getting first turn is going to be quite key to cut down on a turn of shooting. The
Gore Riders have got the Stainstone is helpful there because the Gore Riders with that fairly low waiver point would just melt to elf shooting.
Yeah.
So the Stainstone does help with that quite a lot. The Trolls regen helps. You've only got to have 1 bad turn of shooting and you effectively wasted it. Yeah. There's a lot of nerve in those hordes.
Especially backed up by the war drums. And if it's a scenario like push, that's going to play really well into Tom's hands because
it will.
Tom's going to really struggle to firstly to chew through that much nerve, but just to get close and break through the line. I think on Dom's part, when it comes to Tom's shooting, it's not necessarily that Dom wants Tom to roll badly, but he certainly doesn't want Tom to roll well.
No.
As long as Tom rolls average to below average.
Below. I mean, we're sounding a bit like we're thinking maybe this might be a little one-sided. I'm not at all, actually, but this reminds me very much of a game I watched with Tom's against Matt and his Orcs, and that was, I wouldn't say one-sided, but he got caught on the terrain and then just shot off. By the time he managed to get 1 horde across the board, that was literally all that was left. And then you had Dracons on your flank to take it out. As you say, the scenario will be huge here. I'm not sure we're supposed to say what the scenario is for the first round.
Let's not, because we don't know yet.
I know what it is for the first round, but we won't mention it for everybody. But yeah, it will be a big one here, scenario. it's got to be you've got to get across the board quickly, I think, with this kind of list against Tom. I mean,
We've not even touched on Tom's
we
list.
haven't touched on
Really.
Tom's list, no. You've seen it before. Have you?
Yeah, this is Tom's list.
It's actually a new version of Tom's list. This one, he's never played it before.
Has he got more shots in it?
No, he's got better shots in it.
There we go.
So anyone that hasn't seen this list before, we'll run through it. I think what's quite funny is when you talk to a lot of the American players, this is an incredibly balanced elf list that they can't possibly understand how it wins, and then Tom's with it.
Yeah.
just does painful things. It actually isn't the shootiest elf list of these lists coming.
No, it's not.
There's one that squeezes a lot more shots out of it.
There is, but I think that is the key of its strength. It's not tied down just to the shooting. It's got the board control with the Forest Shamblers for that early pressure. Then it's got the Drakons and the Dragon.
Which actually are huge.
Yeah, so good for board control.
That's the key of this list, really. There's lots of shooting lists out there. You look at your Goblin gun line, things like that, but they shoot, but you get your choice of charges. That's fine. There's just so much of it to mow through. You don't have your choice of charges here because the Drakons they cover your entire line.
Yeah.
You don't ever have to charge with the Drakons, and they can make the points back.
Yeah.
All game.
But equally, Dom has got the Crutch on Slasher, which he can use to project his threat as well, and he can use that to keep the Drakons pinned down a bit.
Absolutely. He can. I mean, sadly, there's no Brewer Haste on there. Would have been maybe a nice call, really. But then I suppose you've got the Dragon and the Drakons, so you can't outspeed them both.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough game. Every game against Tom is going to be a tough game.
Oh, yeah.
This one. We're not just saying that because he's one of the Northern Kings, but every game against Tom.
But he is one of the Northern Kings, so he is that good.
But he is, and I think he has to be picked up there as one of the people to watch really all the way through. Tom's list is good. He gets a lot out of his elves here for a supposedly very expensive army. There's a lot of drops and there's a lot of staying power. The Shroud of the Saint on the Elf Mage, I think, is a really nice call. Heal 6 with Elite is powerful, especially for things like the Drakons. You get those few points of damage on them and you think you're getting somewhere, and then it all disappears again. All the meantime, it's shooting you off.
Yeah.
Tricky one. Good luck, Dom.
I don't think it's.
I don't. I think Dom has a good shout, and
I think he does.
Plus, Dom is a very good player.
Yeah, he absolutely is. Like I say, it kind of depends on Tom not being above average with his dice in the opening turns. I think if Tom's above average on a dice in the opening turns, then Dom is going to really, really struggle. But if he's average or below average dice, then I think Dom has a good shout.
A key piece for Dom is going to be that Crudger.
Yes.
Maybe have a word with Matt about individuals and how best and how surprising Tom shooting could be against individuals. I think people assume because they're an individual they're untouchable.
They're not.
Well, I raise
not
you
with it, not
this
with
many
else.
shots.
Yeah.
And maybe just a different way of playing them to normal. But that one unit could do wonders here, really. You take down one of those shooting hordes, and it's a very different story.
Yeah.
But you've got to have something behind it to back it up afterwards. Otherwise, you've took my unit for one turn and now it's going to kill you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it'll be an interesting game.
Yeah,
watching it.
absolutely.
We'll have to decide who goes on stream first, won't we?
Yes, we will.
Might be that one. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how insane it'll be just if he does get shot off. It'll be very entertaining if he gets to him. That'll be a really good game to watch. But we'll see. Table 2.
Okay, round 2. We have Paul Welsh versus Daniel King. They're going to enjoy this one.
Yay! A nice new original game for them. They haven't played 100 times before. Yeah, interesting lists.
So we have 2 lists. Well, you'd think on paper these are very, very different lists. I actually think these are quite similar in their build, in that they have some slower walking stuff. In Paul's case, he's got the Forest Shamblers.
Yeah.
But Dan has got
rolls.
Dan has got his decent chunk of undead that just walk forward and take damage. But then they've both got very heavy, fast units.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that. When I looked at Dan's list, I saw Varangur. I looked at it and went, oh, look, he's remade his Varangur. But now they're squishier and undead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're necessarily squishier, but
Well, the ghouls and the zombies are.
yeah, well,
As in they're rotting.
Yeah,
So they're squishier.
fair enough.
Yeah. I love Dan's list. I have to say. The more I look at it, the more I'd be terrified to face it.
It's a lot of board control.
It is. It's a lot of unit strength. Zombies in regiments, I think, are just wild, the amount of nerve they've got for the points.
Yeah.
Same with the ghouls. They're not shambling is big. Flying 12 inches at the board is a big deal. Because, let's be honest, you're not going to be touching those 5 regiments for a long time.
Well,
there's just so much other stuff to scare you.
There is, but Dan is really good at getting them up the board quickly, and he's good at putting pressure on you at the right points, in that you have...
you don't have no choice eventually.
You have no choice eventually. Yeah, he gets right up in your face, and then at that point he's...
But you're not focusing your chaff and your shooting on ghouls.
Absolutely.
And then it's in you.
Yeah.
You've still got 12 attacks.
Yeah, I mean, people always slate ghouls, but I don't think they're bad. I mean, 12 attacks hitting on 4s is not amazing, but...
All 3 of them get into you at once.
Yeah.
Or one of them gets into you in a werewolf regiment.
I mean,
that's the important bit.
Defense 4, that's still 3 damage. That's a decent hit.
Well,
Defense 5, it's 2
again,
3 damage.
They're so cheap, they don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
They're chaff points, are they?
For 90 points.
Yeah. They're 10 more than a beast pack.
Yeah.
They are the chaff for this list, really, that will bite back.
Absolutely. And the life leech helps with them as well.
Yeah, it does. Interestingly, there is Surge in the list. The Surge from both the Revenant Kings.
I doubt he'll be using it.
Yeah. The only time I can see him using it is the Barrow Whites.
Yes.
I think when you do the maths, the flank Surge from the Barrow Whites is better than Revenant King charging in. Almost every time, I think.
Well, yeah, it would be.
But apart from that, you don't need Surge in this list, really.
You don't need it, no. But you can build undead like that. It's nice to have the tools there, and of course Dan's taken his Revenant Kings on undead worms. I'm surprised not to see any artifacts on them. I would have expected a +1 to hit, because at that point you've got a dragon for
50 points cheaper, because it's the most efficient dragon in the game. They got a bit better in Class 19.
Yeah.
The big flying one. But anyway, yeah.
Not bitter, are you?
Everyone go look at that. No one seems to be annoyed enough about that. People whinge about Mammoth not having Strider, and then nobody moans about the fucking Revenant Kings and Undead Worm.
The Barrow Whites, though, we don't see them very often. And I think they're a really underutilised unit.
Definitely. They're a second wave unit here with your werewolves and your... I mean, the Lycanis are just scary.
Oh, yeah. For their points, they are insane. 145 for, just for the defensive aspects.
Yeah. I mean, those last 3 units there together are really, really scary, because there's enough nerve in the Lycanis to hold a unit up for a turn. And then the Barrow Whites just destroy you when they get in. Especially when you're going to have a Lycanis in there as well. There's not a lot of lists that can do a lot about this. This, interestingly, is a Tom killer. In theory.
You think?
It could be.
It's fast. And
I wouldn't be surprised if it was designed exactly for that reason. Tom has lots of shooting, but he can really only focus down 1, maybe 2 units a turn. Definitely not the Revenant Kings.
No.
There's just so much nerve in those that they're going to get in.
And he can only control... Tom would only be able to control so much with his flyers anyway.
Exactly.
But let's not talk about...
No, you're right.
those particular matchups.
But just an interesting one here that this list does almost seem designed. Not even just that, the shooting meta in general, really. I think this list would do very well against...
Absolutely, yeah.
Your goblins, your everything that wants to shoot at you, really. You've got enough stuff with those ghouls there to hide behind.
Objectives. That's all they need to do is jump on an objective. And that's it.
He's not going to get shot off in this game.
No, nope,
Paul.
Definitely not. Paul has 3 shots.
He's got his Centaur Chief and his Horse Raiders. Horse Raiders have got the bows.
11 shots then.
Yeah.
So yeah, Paul's...
And he's got breath. Good line.
Yeah, definitely, yes. Paul's got a fairly standard Varangur list. He's got with his 2 Hordes of Fallen, the Mounted Sons of Korgan. The interesting thing that he does take is his Forces of Nature allies, which we keep coming back to board control. I think we're gonna talk about it so much throughout this video. But those Forest Shamblers, they do so much for early board control. Just for the threat of them.
They're brilliant, and for the points of them as well. They're cheap enough that you can throw them away if you need to. As you say, that threat, that move up, and the area you've got there, where the dash 14, defense 5, they will hold more than you think.
Especially if you park them in terrain.
Exactly.
It's good luck, come at me.
And it's great because you can vanguard them up to the point where Fallen and everything else is still looking at them. So it's charge me, I dare you. Everything else is just going to mob you.
Absolutely. And if you don't charge them,
they're in your face.
They're in your face the next turn.
But they're cheap enough that you don't mind if you sit them on an objective at the back of the board all game and do nothing else with them.
Absolutely,
you don't really lose out there.
Which, in fair, that's what he's got his Regiment of Thralls for.
Yeah.
It's just sit at the back of the board on an objective or move a loot counter up.
Exactly. Well, yeah, I mean, a push counter would be wonderful here, really, because you've nothing else really in this list that's going to be holding push counters.
No.
It wants to be.
You certainly don't want it on the Fallen or the Mounted Suns.
The Centaur Chief, I think, is a brilliant individual.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, one of the best individuals in the game for the points.
11-13, it's a decent nerve, I think. I always come back to that being a decent point where the enemy has to actually concentrate quite a bit to take that out. Yes, it will go down to fairly weak shooting.
Yeah, any kind of ref weapon should kill it in one go. It doesn't all the time. Efreets just die to Centaur Chiefs, I found.
Yep.
Mine is now called Chief Asbestos for that reason. It's fireproof and it kills you. Chief Asbestos, I love it.
I don't.
But yeah, they're an excellent individual. They're brilliant for the flyers. Looking again over at Dan's list, the Centaur Chief is one of those things that's really nice at chipping away at Revenant Kings. Just for landing it, the fact that making a Revenant King turn round if you charge it the flank is huge, actually. You pay your 115 points to make it turn round for a turn while you do everything else.
But he's the perfect character hunter as well if
he is.
Your opponent's got something in there. But then again, he's got Herja for that. Not Herja, Magnalide.
Pretend Herja.
Yeah.
Better Herja.
Cheaper,
more efficient Herja.
Magnalide is going to be really good against Dan's list, I think. Yeah. Because she's another one who can keep chipping away at.
She is. She's brilliant. She's also. I mean, that fly is lovely. I mean, it's still effective against Dan, but maybe against less experienced players of that board control. That I have a 20-inch bubble and you never know when I'm going to use it. Is really powerful, actually. Yeah. And to be honest, you only need it once. I mean, how often do you use your 20-inch fly? Yeah. When you're moving, so that ability to fly over it, and again, stop a Lycanis or stop anything is really powerful. Thinking about those Lycanis, they're just terrifying. Because you can't block them in the same way, then you don't lose the nimble, you don't lose everything. It's I mean, Paul is running the Clash of Kings 19 list before it's cool. He doesn't have the formation yet. He'll come. I mean, he's got
back Wales portion of the Caterpillar, so he's already effectively taken it there, hasn't he?
Yeah. I love Nimble on Mounted Suns, I have to say.
It catches people out so often.
Adding a third more powerful Fallen hard is a really nice way to go, actually. This would be a tricky one. I know that Paul has beaten Dan before. Yeah. I know Dan's beaten Paul. I
have to say, Dan's list is faster, and that's.
I think sadly they both do very similar things, and I think Dan's list might do it better.
He might do
on paper. If it comes down to objectives, Dan holds more of them. A single Lycanis can take off, the thralls and the things holding tokens, by themselves. Really, it requires a lot less babysitting. Does the ghouls and the zombies? Yeah. Whereas the thralls will need somebody with them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough one for Paul. It always comes down to board control. It always comes down to objectives. Yeah. But yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one for Paul to.
I can see the Shamblers having less of an impact here because they don't hold anything up that needs to be coming forward. Mm-hmm. If you want to charge them into the ghouls and the zombies and mob all that up, well,
so what?
Fine, and everything else is too fast that it doesn't care. Yeah, really, about being held up. But we'll see. Mm-hmm. Again, that'll be a really good game to watch with that. Yeah, I think it'll be over quickly.
Yeah, either way,
one way or the other, it'll be over fast because they'll be on each other. There'll be some turn one charges in there, I think, with all that speed and Vanguard and everything.
And then turn two is where it'll all go down.
Everything will die.
Yes.
All in one go, very quickly.
Right, on to round 3 then.
Table 3.
Table 3, yes.
Rob versus Adam. Ooh.
Rob Phipps, Adam Padley.
So, we have the Wall of Defense 6 versus the Alchemist Curse.
Ooh.
Right then, so we have Defense 6 versus Alchemist Curse.
Well, only 2 Alchemist's Curse.
4, I believe.
4?
Is it? 3. So, 3. Yeah, 3 Alchemist Curse, Diadem, Hand Grenade, and Blood Boil. He gets around the rule of 2 by using allies.
Yeah.
Because he's, legend
because he's
a
Adam.
thing now, and he can. I mean, this is going to be a brilliant game. I've played Rob a couple of times. He's very, very good. He knows how to use Defense 6. He's a nightmare, quite frankly. I mean, he's got a lot of Defense 6 in this list. He's got Infernock the Greater and the 2 Hordes of Lesser Obsidian Golems. He's got Heal with Shroud of the Saint, and he's got... has he got the Infernock?
Yes.
Yeah, he does, yeah. So he's got the Infernock's buddy, hitting him back with the Fireball.
Yeah, so for people who... Because this guy's not used very often, Infernock's special ability is for each point of damage that his breath attack does, is it?
Oh, it's the wizard, so it's the Dravak Dalkan.
Dravak Dalkan. So every point of damage that his Fireball 10 does will heal a point of damage back on
Infernock, wherever he is on the board.
Yeah.
That's the bit that got me when I first played Rob.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brilliant, you're nowhere near him, so it will have an effect.
No, it takes place anywhere on the board.
Yeah, it came in, he shot off a unit of my chaff, and I thought, what does it matter? It's chaff. Healed 5 points of damage instantly back on the Defense 6 Golem that I worked so hard to get.
That's going to be really effective against Adam's list, because it's all Defense 3 and Defense 4.
You can soak damage so really there. And as well, he has tools to get individuals, but if he's shooting at the individuals, then you're in trouble, really.
I don't know. I mean, yes, he's got tools to get at the individuals, but he does need to get in there at some point. And if Bracky Bark is causing damage in the back lines, and he can use Stravik to attack another individual, I think that'll work out really well. Yeah. See, you said about the Alchemist Curse. I think the key for Rob is to neutralise that.
Yeah,
that's the key. Is neutralise the Alchemist Curse.
I mean,
straight away.
The Alchemist Curse will, in theory, all that together will delete a unit a turn. But actually, you're on him second turn with all your other stuff. You've got some speed in this list.
Yeah.
Gargoyles are brilliant for that. You can screen as you come up. You've got the Grotesque and the Half-Breeds. So you've got a quick list there. And you've got Bracky Barak.
Yes, Bracky is amazing.
Yeah, who is just a super Half-Breed.
Yep.
With is Badum that's the super duper inspiring, isn't
12
it?
inch
12 inch
inspiring.
inspiring, yeah.
It's just anywhere, basically.
Crushing 3 and regen and defense 5 and 14, 16, and he's going to be a tough one to shoot off. I mean,
he is, yeah.
In himself, he would probably take the full weight of all the Alchemist Curses and Blood Bowl to shoot off.
Yeah.
Which is, again, if they do that, well, then that's another turn. You shuffle forward and everything.
I think perhaps timing the impact is going to be quite key.
Yeah.
And obviously where he hits the line is going to be quite key. It's definitely down to Rob to close that gap. And he has got the ability to dictate where the battle's going to take place. But I do feel that he needs to be dealing with the Alchemist Curse by the time he actually impacts the lines.
I mean, one thing to note is that Adam does have the 3 Fleabag Sniffs and all those individuals, all of which are mounted.
Yeah.
So actually, he has chaff.
Yeah.
For days.
He can just throw them in front of you and not care.
I mean, your Spitters will still do a surprising amount against Defense 6. They'll do a lot against the Defense 4 of the Half-Breeds.
Yeah.
They're going to need Gargoyles.
They're going to need to be hidden and out of Ark's sight.
Which, I mean, I've played Adam's list a lot. There isn't a lot of places out of Ark's sight. It's there. the board is there. It's going to be a very interesting game. Yeah.
I think this is a struggle for Rob, isn't it? We keep dancing about it a little bit, but...
No, actually. It's going to be dicey. He's got the 3 rock throwers. He's got Again, he's found his way to get himself around the bloody rule of 2. So he's got 2 rock throwers and Grog is great globber, because what Grog needed was another rock thrower to put in there. A piercing 3 elite rock thrower.
Yeah.
For the time being. I mean, he's got a big shield now rather than elite.
Oh, woohoo.
So, yeah. I mean, they're the sort of things where they can swing games, do things like that. You know, if he gets a couple of hits and takes off a unit, well, like, it can be sadly pretty much game over.
Yeah.
Or they can do nothing all game and carry on, but statistically speaking, one of them will hit a turn.
Well, yeah.
Interesting one. On paper, I would give this to Adam. Again, Northern Kings. Purely because of the amount of shots he can put out, and he can delay everything. All of the tools is good. But then Rob can heal and grind. And if Adam's delaying things, he's not killing.
He's not winning.
Yeah. It will come down to scenario, actually. I can really see Adam being left with a lot on the board, but none of it winning the game.
Yeah, because he was running into that problem at Clash of Kings, wasn't he?
It was, where he was killing a lot, but not winning. Yeah. Also, with the Blackjack system, it predicates on how well you win. So, just sneaking one unit in, you know, at the end for invade, for example, or just holding one pillage counter, you win, but it can be a small win. You know, there's going to be times where I think Rob's going to have the initiative through all of this trailer, and it's going to be up to Adam whether or not he chaffs, whether or not he tries to do it, and it's going to come down to dice. I think.
I think so, yeah. But like I say, scenario is a big play. That's not really something that I had considered. I was looking at it more of a straight up kill, but yeah, especially with Blackjack, and even if Adam does win, like you say, he can end up with lots of units on the board. He might win the scenario by 1 point, and it's not a big win for him, and it's not a big loss for Rob either.
Yeah, I mean, sadly, there's a lot of crushing in Rob's list.
Yeah, kind of wasted.
Which is kind of wasted. Dragonfire teams are nice for there, but you know, it's got wonderful tools. But then so does Adam for this one.
Yeah,
interesting matchup there. I know I've said that for every single one so far, but it's really nice actually to see the defense 6 against the defense 6 killer in theory. I want to see how that one goes.
Definitely.
Again, I probably won't put that one on the stream because it's just going to be wall of defense 6 coming up against a lot of shooting, and then we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Tap my papers again. Right, table 4.
Okay, table 4.
Jonathan Quayle versus Richard Tomlinson.
Jonathan Quayle, Richard Tomlinson.
Yeah. Brotherhood of Backing Masters. Because they're so OP, I had to nerf them. So, you've played this, haven't you? You've played Jonathan's list anyway.
So, I've actually played both of these lists. They are both very, very good players. This is going to be a really, really interesting game, this. It really is. I just going straight off the list themselves. I can't think of one who's actually better on paper. Now, no. John Quayle has a lot of nerve in his list. He's got a lot of big things.
A lot of nerve.
A lot of nerve, which you would think that Brotherhood with cavalry would perhaps start to struggle a little bit with.
But then he's got the Abyssal Hunt.
He's got
got monsters to fight.
He's got monsters to fight, but then he's got the bowman with the piercing arrow, and he's got the Forsaken Beasts. Now, if he can get them stuck in front of Revenants, those Revenants aren't going to do much.
No. Well, the melee 4, aren't they? Yeah. It's going to be I'm going to say interesting game again. Yeah, but it's...
So yeah, John Quayle, he's really good at this list. I played him at one of our tournaments, and he was fantastic at.
He was on top table, wasn't he?
Board control again. Yeah. He was really good at using his surge units for board control in terms of locking down where flyers can jump to, which is something that he doesn't have to worry too much about with Rich's list.
Those bone giants, I think, are a real anchor of this list. They're just brilliant. They're so big and tough that they can take a charge from the cavalry regiments. Yeah, and will bounce. That's fine. I
think even 2 of them would struggle, wouldn't they?
Potentially, yeah. And if they are, you're not going to be in a good position.
No.
They're going to be next to something that can shamble and surge you. I mean, the Bone Dragon is probably going to come in and hit whatever tries to do with that. That combination of two Bone Giants and Bone Dragon we'll see somewhere else in one of these lists. It's what Ed's got, and it's a great combination. It's really, really tough to shift, really. And it's holding a point. It's absolutely guaranteed holding a point forever. Defense 5-19 with life leech on a giant is really, really powerful.
Yeah. Just the sheer nerve in this list is
well, yeah, you've got 18. I mean, your lowest nerve you've got your chaff, and then after that, 17 is your lowest. No, 16 on your chariot.
No, you got a dash 13 on the cursed priest, but that's an individual.
So anything with unit strength,
yeah.
Other than your two chaff regiments, which again 10, 12, 16 is your lowest nerve.
Yeah.
For your blocks, that's just scary.
It's all defense 4 and 5, so it's decent defenses. Yeah. Revenants, I think, are some of the most undervalued infantry in the game in terms of their sheer all-roundedness.
You've got the crushing on them there, hasn't it, with the 2 hand weapons?
Yeah. So they will deal some damage.
What does do?
He gives stealthy to units around him, I believe, which isn't going to come into play really. It will a little bit because he's
Surge 10, heal 5. I've seen that as well.
Yeah, his main thing was giving stealthy though. I suppose it will come into play against Rich because he has got his bowmen and his Forsaken Beasts.
I've just seen as well. So he's got heal 7 from the Cursed High Priest, heal 5 from Mortimerus, and all that nerve and all that defense.
Yep.
Yeah, it's gonna be a grindy one, that, isn't it?
It's gonna be a very grindy one. Rich definitely needs to be taking units off in one hit.
He does. That's the thing.
I mean, that's generally key with Brotherhood anyway, but in this case, it's even more important.
It really is, because the thing is, you're going to get overlapped and flank charged, and there's enough surge in here. There's enough. Those 50mm base Bone Giants and Dragons are just excellent for. Yeah. If you hit any of the hordes, you are going to get flanked.
Yeah. And they hurt.
And they're melee 4, so they're not going to break you in one go, but they're really, really going to add on to everything. That's the beauty of the Empire Dust list, really.
Just those monsters.
Yeah. They really, really do add to it. I like the 2 scavenger regiments. I think having the bit of chaff just to control things, I think is powerful. I really like this list. I think it's a solid list. I think he'll do well with it.
I think he will.
I like seeing Empire Dust up there, and I think that's a really good list put together. But equally, I think Richard's list is good as well. I love the 2 Forsaken Beasts. I think they're excellent.
They're a really good pair. Forsaken Beasts are fantastic.
But I think, sadly, they're maybe not as effective here against the might be some other armies. The breath will be lost slightly.
A little bit, yeah. I suppose it's got the heal backing it up, so it's probably not going to stay on.
Exactly, with the life leech, the heal, the nerve, and the defense. It's a tricky one.
If he can breath the Cursed High Priest, then he's laughing at that point.
He is. I mean, the Order of the Redemption, I think, are going to be your key ones here, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely.
Your Super Knights. You've got to get them into something with something else and break it in one go.
Yeah. But that is going to be really good against. Obviously, going to be really good against the monsters. For that vicious roll.
I mean, for me, if they can do it, the bowmen have to be shooting at the scavengers. Yeah. First turn, because you need to be picking your charges. I mean, you outspeed him with almost everything. He's not going to send the bone dragon off by himself.
No. John keeps his monsters quite close to the chest.
Yeah. And the chariot, you might do. He's got the nerve and he's got the defense to go off by himself. And the region.
A little bit. Nerve dash 16 on defense 5. It's not. If Rich can hit it with something substantial, it's in real trouble.
Oh yeah. But it would be a nice little flanker.
Yeah.
Going off by himself, really. I'd use it as chaff in this matchup. I really would.
Would you?
Only because this game is going to come down to how many units Rich can get into yours at once. I would do everything I could to stop that. And if that meant throwing a Pharaoh at a regiment of knights and losing him, but doing enough damage in the process, I think it'd be worth it. There's not a lot of heal or any heal at all, I think, in Rich's list. So
I think there's a little bit.
Oh, there's Master's Prayer. Oh, that's helpful.
It's heal 2 and Martyr's Prayer. And that's got Mirrodin's Amulet of the Fire Heart on that as well.
Weakness. Interesting. I like weakness a lot. I'm not sure it's going to come much into play here.
It could be a situation. I mean, if he's got his Forsaken Beast into John's Revenants, weakening them
Yeah.
can go well.
Yeah, well, yeah. Ensnare and weakness was a bit of a...
Mm.
There's just a lot of nerve.
5s and 5s, that's going to be not much damage in his Forsaken Beasts.
It's not when you've got Master Spray backing it up, actually. Although there is breath around, but not a lot. Interesting. Chariots. I've not even seen the Nimble Chariots.
Mm. They're really good.
They are. I think I'm going to give this one to John. I think. Which is a shame because I love Rich. But on paper, again, I'm not even sure a scenario would have a bigger impact here. I can't think of any scenario that wouldn't benefit John more.
Yeah, I think scenario would go to John. It comes down to how much Rich kills, and he's got to be able to kill stuff quick and in one hit.
And this is a list that will prevent that. Or
Not necessarily
can prevent that. Has the tools
yes.
to prevent that. But yeah, it's certainly not going to be one-sided. And I've seen Rich play plenty of times, and he's beaten me plenty of times to know that it's not going to be one-sided.
Definitely.
No.
Cool.
Not going to say interesting. So, we have David Fletcher versus Sam Barker.
Dave Fletcher, Sam Barker.
And that goes to... Well, actually, he hasn't this year. He used to go to every tournament ever. It's not being cool. Right then, I want Dave to win because Sam sold out and not used his dwarves. And Dave has. The end. Right, there we are. That's it. Don't have to say anything else about this. Where are your dwarves, Sam? Elves. Oh, bloody elves.
More elves, yes.
More elves. I absolutely love Dave's dwarf list here. I think it's just... This is the list, almost exactly that I wrote when I first started playing Kings of War. Because it's just a really nice, rounded dwarf list. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's the strongest list ever. It's a very good list. But it just feels right as lists go. You can almost play this in 3 separate blocks. Yeah. It's got 2 regiments of berserkers with a berserker hero. It's got 2 defense 6 things with a king wandering next to it. And then it's got 2 regiments of hunters with an ace. And it just plays as 3 wonderful little independent units that actually...
Self-sufficient
all self-sufficient, aren't they? All scary and could play really well together.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. I don't, there's not much I can say about it, really. It's got a flying king in it. I love flying kings. So yeah, I love this list. It has chaff. It's got dog chaff. And battle drillers.
It's a really effective list, this. Yeah. I mean, Berserker Brock Riders are always fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, they've sort of acknowledged, haven't they, that they are probably too good for the points, but that's fine in the list they're in, which is it's fine for me. I've never had an issue with...
Well, they don't have fast chaff, which a lot of cavalry does have access to. If they had fast chaff, then they would potentially be a balance problem, but without that,
they're great. I mean... Yeah. The Pathfinder, I mean, I know you're looking at points here. The only thing I would change on this is I would give the Brock Riders Elite rather than Pathfinder.
You think?
Just personal choice for me. Mm-hmm. There's so much fast stuff around, and looking at the meta, there's a lot of fast things around. You're probably going to get charged. You've got some chaff, but it's still slow. These things grind like there's no tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, and that nerve is horrendous.
Elite and Vicious is just scary. Mm-hmm. And then the Brute Strength is a wonderful choice on the other one.
The combination of Elite and Vicious, it's not just the extra damage, it's the safety aspect of it.
Absolutely, yeah.
If you fluff a dice roll and roll a ton of 1s, well, great, I get to re-roll them. And you get that safety aspect for your dice rolls built in.
Doesn't the math work out something like an extra 26% extra attack or something silly like that when you've got both? It's 13% extra per creature, isn't it? You've got Elite or Vicious attacks, effectively.
When
you're doing the maths.
It's 1 over 6 extra attacks, which I think is 13%.
Yeah, so that twice. I like it,
but it's also that your chances of getting closer to average is much higher as well.
Brilliant.
I mean, that's something that people always miss, and myself included. When you're doing these averages of what the average damage should be, you're not actually looking at what the spread of damage will be. Well, Elite and Vicious means that you have a much narrower spread of damage.
It's a really nice list. Is this? It gets around a lot of the issues that people run into with dwarves. It has the dwarf stuff. It's got the defense 6. It's got the nice nerve. It's got stuff. It's not slow at all. It's got the 2 cavalry. It's got the flying king. It's got the berserker lord. But it's not fragile.
And there's the immediate pressure as well. Rangers, I think, are really really good. I really like them
a lot, especially the elite ones with Aeneas. I like Aeneas as well.
Mm.
You know, he's got a little hand cannon.
Yeah, it's just 3 attacks. Pew, pew, pew.
He's just brilliant. I mean, we've already seen dragonfire throwers. We've seen the little sneaky war machines that aren't necessarily individual, but are hard to get to. Your war trombones, things like that.
Yeah,
Aeneas is just good at that. He's going to get the line somewhere and get a shot off of them. It might be on 4s rather than 3s, but who cares when it's on 2s? You know.
He's perfect for tapping a unit.
Yeah,
just often what you need in the last few turns of the game. It's
definitely,
just force a nerve test on that unit. Yeah. That's all I need to do.
Whereas the pair of rangers together, you know, they put out elf shooting hordes.
Yeah,
you know that it's that kind of shooting, isn't it? It's 24 shots on 4s with elite. Well, you're an elf horde all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like the heart-seeking chant and Brooking Inus. I mean, it's doubling down. You know, you're putting points into purely shooting things when, you know, actually you've got the crushing one there as well.
But I would bet that the way that he plays is, if somebody does get into combat with those rangers, they're getting Brock Riders.
Yeah,
in the face
absolutely.
Next turn.
I like this.
Yeah,
I've mentioned a couple of times. This just feels to me like rank and flank war games. It's just lovely.
Lots of units, lots of infantry,
lots of regiments, lots of units, lots of everything. Just little bits of everything. There's no gimmicks. It's just a really, really nice list that I think will do well. I hope it does well. Better do well after I've just sung your praises so much.
Speaking of no gimmicks.
Yeah. Speaking of no gimmicks, Sam, I don't get your list. I'm sorry. I love you, but I don't get your list.
It's interesting.
What? I love you, Sam. I do. But I think the way I described to Nick a minute ago was, it's like you've got a random wheel of elf units and just gone, that one.
So we've got archers without any artifacts on them.
Yeah, you've got best shooting in the game when you give it piercing. It's probably one of the most point efficient options to get piercing, and you've no Bane Champ.
Yep.
I'd love to be really wrong. I really want to be wrong about this.
Yeah, I do too.
I really want you to win the Masters, Sam.
We're counting on you, Sam. Yeah. Do well with this list.
Please,
prove us wrong.
Please let me be wrong. Yeah. Please win the Masters.
I do want to know how well the Draken Regiment does, because
I like regiments of Drakons. Just I don't get where it fits.
It's a good pairing with the cavalry. It's almost like it's just enough to reliably take a unit each turn.
Yeah.
With those pairing up against each other.
So what do you play as your block here? So you've got your cavalry, your Drakons, and your prince together, I suppose.
You got your dragon flopping
around.
No,
he's not inspiring. So the prince isn't inspiring.
So has he only got the one inspiring choice in this?
Yeah, the dragon. And the dragon have...
No, two inspiring. Two inspiring. He's got an army standard bearer.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing on it. Sam, I love you.
Love you a lot. I know you ruined Iron Brew, but apart from that, I love you. I don't get it, Sam. I'm sorry. It might be brilliant. I'm sure it's beautifully painted.
I think his fast wing has got legs.
I'm going to say something now that I don't want to say because it was on Carl and Jess's video of things people say on Classics, but it needs a punchy unit. Where's your punchy unit? It's lacking a knockout punch. It's MSU without the MSU.
Well, I think the things that are going to surprise people, the Palace Guard when I've gone up against them, they always surprise me.
Palace Guard are very good.
They are very good.
But they're lacking an anchor.
They are.
If they had a Forest Shambler Horde, for example,
that would be an anchor.
Against, or even some Sea Guard or some Spearmen, in fact, some Tall Spears. They work as well. They were an excellent support unit that do.
Every time I try and find an angle to say something nice about this,
that's what I mean. So you've got all the support elements of a lovely list. It's like you've forgotten to add in your I suppose
that is one of the things that That is a good point. It does feel like a lot of support units, but without any, as you say, anchors to hold the enemy in place while those support units go to town on the important stuff. It's if he does well with it, it'd be very interesting.
Yeah, I really want you to.
I really want him to. Yeah.
I mean,
too.
The test. I mean, I've played this very similar list for the last year, which is a lot of lightning bolts. I know it's a lot of lightning bolts, but the way I look at a list
you have
is,
your lightning bolts.
I know, but the way I look at a list is, what would I shoot first? As in, what's a good lightning bolt target? All of it. Literally, there's nothing in here that I couldn't lightning bolt off, and that's the problem. Now, when lightning bolts are shooting everything off, maybe your palace card you wouldn't go forward, but who cares? Why don't you shut the rest of it off? I want to be wrong, Sam. Please make me wrong.
Sam, I love you.
I do love you, but
I'm not going to say anything else.
Just not your list.
So who do we think's got the stronger matchup there?
Well, I'd also love, the dwarf list. So there's that. Yeah, it's again.
So list on list, it's not a good matchup for Sam.
It's not, and even if some of the other elements,
he's got a speed advantage.
He's got a speed advantage.
Nice.
He's got the nerve to not mind about things like the Dracons regiments, because in the
that's the thing, because Sam's going to get the charge off, but he's not going to break anything in one turn.
Exactly, and it all grinds well enough. I mean, you've got the loot there, so everything's having Bane Chant. You've got brute strength. You've got crushing everywhere.
It's got his Rangers pinging.
Yeah.
Points off.
Well, that's the other thing. The Rangers will go to town on some of these things. The Dracon's 12-14 nerve is just going to have a big bullseye over their head. The Dragon can only do so much in this list.
Yeah.
It's going to have its work cut out there.
So how many times do you think we can say, Sam, we love you?
Before it gets weird or patronising.
Yeah.
Love you, Sam. Yep.
Table 6.
We have Matthew James versus Chris Coburn. See, not Tom. So, Chris hasn't brought Hell on Wheels because he's a fool.
Well, why did he do that?
Because
he went for Red Goblin.
Yeah. Well, you see, what happened is Chris found a list that worked really well for him and won a few tournaments with Hell on Wheels, and then enjoyed success too much. So he wound it back and then brought this instead, and then brought blasters, which I know your feelings on blasters.
Yeah.
What do you call them? A useless chap that's a waste of time.
I said they are the single worst unit in the game.
I don't agree with that, but
if your opponent has any amount of shooting,
sure, at the Masters nobody brings shooting.
Which
Matt
does
hasn't.
not have any shooting.
So what you're saying is blasters are the best unit in the game, so long as you want to play Matt.
Well, I think this is one of the few matchups where blasters might actually do some damage. See, my problem. So Chris has got 2 of his blasters. My problem with blasters has always been that
you're paying points for them that can quite possibly do nothing or hurt yourself.
Yeah, and in an ogre army, you can't take damage.
No,
they're so fragile at ogres, and having a red goblin blaster detonate near you, can be the death sentence of your army just from one detonation. And if your opponent's got any shooting at all, they're going to shoot the blasters in turn 1. Luckily for Chris, Matt doesn't have any shooting, so the blasters can actually get into a better position.
My problem with blasters is, and we're not going to make a video about bashing blasters, that you don't lose anything by shooting at them, because if you've got anything that can reach them turn 1, that kind of shooting, you're not really losing it. Like one lightning bolt will do it. So it's not like you've had to sacrifice a whole horde's worth of shooting.
No,
you've got to do a point of damage,
and that's it.
And you'll probably break it.
Yeah.
Anyway, off that. So Chris's list, I do like it. Despite
he's got Grocker Gamok, so it's automatically amazing.
It's fairly standard. It's a punchy ogre list. I like it. It's not as gimmicky. I find that ogres do well with gimmicks. I think some of the best ogre lists I've seen are things like the 4 or even 5 shoot Humorlords. Um, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
There's not a lot to say about it really. It's
The thing that
it's got.
I mean, aside from the Red Goblin Blasters, the thing that I'm not personally that keen on is that it's got the Warlock and Nomagarok. I would perhaps take one or the other.
Yeah, especially before the buff. Again, this is Chris playing Cock 19 before it's cool.
Yeah.
With the awesome new buffs that he gets.
Except he's still taking Red Goblin Blasters.
Oh yeah, can't have everything, can he?
Yeah.
He's only got one big hit. Why have you only got one big hit? They're amazing, Jeff.
They are.
You could have dropped both blasters. And something else, and you could have had three, like two of them. Yeah. Had two.
One hold of shooters is.
I think 2 on.
Yeah, I agree with that. Or if you can do a horde, do 2 regiments instead.
You like the regiments of them, don't you? I've never been taken. I like the horde.
Don't get me wrong. Of all of them, how much the double horde is the way to go. One with elite, one with vicious. That's the way to go. But if you just have sort of the points for one of them, I would be looking at 2 regiments instead, because you can split your shots into 2 different targets, and they are really good at reliably pinging a point of damage off.
I mean, personally, again, preference reading the meta of what we've been coming against recently, I would have gone for the boomers, just for the amount of,
the move and shoot is phenomenal.
Yeah, the scenario play for Clash 17 is massive, and the amount of, the Dragonfire throwers we've seen, the amount of low defense elves and goblins, your boomers come into their own.
Yeah,
those sort of things. You're reliably taking off regiments of spitters is brilliant. But yeah, I don't dislike Chris's list at all. I think he's a good player. It's Chris. He likes to tell himself he's not. But we like to tell him he's not.
But he is.
We can't have him too big for his boots.
No.
But he is a good player. I mean, if you look at Chris's results, I think he's got his last 4 results are the ones that got him into Masters, and it's like a first, second, third, and second or something. He's sort of come from nowhere and now just wins everything. But he does it with hell on wheels. Not with this. Not
with Red Goblin
Balance and normal. Where's your defense? 19 rallied, fearless, whatever chariot things that no one can beat.
Matt's list, on the other hand, is.
This looks familiar.
Yeah, looks very familiar.
Stop copying and pasting lists.
No, this is a really well-rounded list. I like this list.
There's a reason he uses it a lot. Is because he's refined it and it's a very good list. Yeah,
but it seems so simple on paper to take this list, but it is refined.
It is. I mean, honestly, I think he can deploy it on his tray by now, because he deploys it the same way each time. You just need a tray map. Just put it down one tray. It's good. There's no around it, and Matt's good with it. He wins tournaments with it. My only issue with this list, and Matt acknowledges it himself, is that it can suffer from matchups. There are some matchups it just really struggles with, and as good a player as Matt is, and he has some of the tools, it's liable to getting shot at. It doesn't have its own shooting.
But that's why he's been taking the Crushers, I presume.
Yeah, exactly. Then that's what they're there for.
They are good chaff.
They are good for that, but you've only got 2 of them, and you've only got the one Torch Soul Regiment. It's very good.
Shut down the shooting for 1 turn. 2 turns.
Ask Matt about that.
Okay.
With your foot slogging. That's the problem with this list, is that actually it's going to take at least 2, if not 3 turns before it's dangerous. When it gets to you, it's bloody dangerous.
Yeah. But you've got those turns to position yourself.
If it gets to you, Matt's won. I think that's really. He's very good at getting the right charges off. He's very good at keeping the right things alive. But he can only do so much.
It's fairly fragile as well. It's not got a huge amount of nerve there.
It's not as much as you think, actually. You've only got to lose one of those big hordes. All of the big Great Axe hordes, etc. I mean, it's got the War Drum, which adds to that. It's a
+1. It's not
incredible.
I mean, if you lose one of the Gore Rider units, I think, to me, that's a lot of the punch gone.
He's got a Gak.
Gakmak's awesome.
Gak's punching himself.
But fragile.
He is, yeah.
But that's just like 6 damage turn, straight up. 6, 6, 6, 6.
He's a Gore Rider regiment himself.
Yeah.
He's excellent, but there's not a lot more to say about this list, because it's the same list it took to every last Clash of Kings and every game I've ever played against him with it. But he knows it and he plays it well. You can't dispute it.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one for Chris, I think.
I think so. I think
Chris doesn't have the tools to deal with it at range.
no, he doesn't. The one shooter horde isn't going to bother us at all.
No.
I mean, the Orklings are designed to stop shooting like that.
He's not going to shoot the Orklings. He's going to put damage down on the horse.
To be honest, if Gak gets into those shooters, he'll break them.
Oh, yeah.
In 2 turns. So, because as you say, it's 6 damage guaranteed.
Yeah, and he's not really got anything that can really take on Gak unless he's got Grok.
And if Grok's babysitting,
Yeah.
shooters, then you're wasting him.
The other thing that's going to be a life save for Chris is if that line hits, if Matt's line hits, doesn't break Chris in the 1 turn, and those red goblin blasters do come into their own, that could be a game changer.
They could. But then you've got your crushers. You don't need to shoot it when you throw a crusher, right?
Yeah. Well, I think that Matt could sacrifice his crushers one into each of the red goblin blasters, and that's it. He don't care about losing his crushers against Chris's list. I don't think.
I mean, Chris has a lightning bolt. It's a fair amount of lightning bolt. It's not enough to win games, I don't feel, and I'm not sure the Braves are enough to stop all that.
I don't think so.
But we'll see.
It's a tough one for Chris.
It is, and this is one actually I think that scenario could drive quite a lot, really. Because Matt's list is very good at going forward in one big killy block.
Yeah.
And if the scenario is something that stops him doing that, Chris could have a good idea, really. He's got the Red Goblin Scouts, he's got things that can nab objectives late game, he can dance around. It helps that his characters are all unit strength and scoring. He's got a lot of scoring units in there. We'll see.
I think it's all because the heroes are all scoring.
Yeah.
I kind of have to agree with you that it's. Yeah, I think it's a very good matchup for Matt. A very poor one for Chris.
It is.
It's not something that Dice could easily overcome it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, I don't know. I think Matt can absorb bad dice in that list. He's got redundancies all the way through it. Whereas I can see Dice swinging it badly for Chris. You've only got to lose 1 unit, actually. I mean, he's got 1 horde of warriors. He's effectively got 2 hordes of ogres and a regiment.
Grok is a horde by himself.
He is, but yeah, he is. Yeah, there's no he is. Yeah,
he will take out a regiment of anything in the game in one hit, even in the front.
Chris as well. No. Chris's Grok is famous for not, but
no,
everybody else will.
But even if he gets that Grok into the flank of the Great Axe, that's the Great Axe gone, I think.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But then you've got so much chaff you can prevent that. I think Matt might have that one, but we'll find out.
Yeah. Be interesting to see the results.
That'll be an interesting one to watch.
Yeah.
At least something would happen in that game. You wouldn't be watching people rolling dice, and watching a bit of movement at least.
Okay.
So what's this? 7.
Yep, table 7.
2 more to go.
Ed Herzig.
Versus Ian Sturgis. Now, if you wanted to see Elf Gunline.
Oh, no.
This is how you Elf Gunline.
This is Ian.
This is how you Gunline like an American.
Yep. This is familiar. You say Gunline like an American. Does he have more than Tom?
Yeah.
I don't think.
Everything shoots.
Drakens don't.
Everything but the Drakens shoot.
There you go, then. And he has 2 hordes of them.
Yeah. I mean, Ian's list is good. There's no way around this one. It's shooty.
Yep.
It's very shooty.
However...
but it's not... I don't think it loses much of being shooty either.
No, I was going to say, Ed's not going to lose much to shooting.
No.
Ed is all high defense,
interesting
high
matchup,
nerve.
actually. I mean, it's a similar sort of things we were saying before about the other Empire Dust list.
There is a lot of nerve in this list. There is a lot of heal in this list.
There is the nerve, there is the heal. Again.
It's not the speed, but there is
there's 2 chariot hordes.
Yeah, but you're not really going to be. I suppose if once the Drakens and the Dragon get out the way, the chariots can go in, but I would be more tempted to shoot with them and shoot the Drakens off. But I think the key with this, with Ed's list, is that there's not going to be anywhere for the Drakens to really become effective. Because anywhere that they land is going to be covered by a Surge Giant and Bone Dragon.
Potentially. My issue with Ed's going to have here is the footprint of those chariots. They're big old units. The two giants and the dragon can defend those your revenants, your mummies, and that block very, very well. The problem you've got with the two dragons is the dragons can break a horde of chariots in one go. And then you've got it's threes with elite and twos.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And then it's then they're spinning round. My only worry that Ed's going to have is just physical boardroom to get your surges in and out. You're almost going to have to castle.
But then if you can shut down Ian's shooting, which he's got the Pharaoh with the wings, that should be turned. That horde should be turned to shut down.
Yeah.
Not doing anything for the rest of the game.
Oh no, Pharaoh's useless now without defense 6.
Oh yeah. It's absolutely useless. You cannot use.
Come on, Nick.
Yeah, I should have known that.
Anyway.
That Pharaoh with the wings of Honeymay should be going straight into that horde of archers turn 2. So that's either 1 or 2 turns of shooting that Ian's going to get off. And I think with the amount of heal in this list that, it's heal 8. I think with that heal 8, there's not going to be much impact from Ian shooting against this, I don't think.
The shooting for me is going to go on the chariots because they're your easy targets. You could shoot off a chariot to hold a turn.
Oh, they are defense 4, aren't they?
Yeah.
I thought they were defense 5.
No.
Okay.
So, I mean, to be honest, you can lose both chariot hordes and it's not game.
No.
And after which point, as you say, the shooting isn't going to do a whole lot really on there.
This is a tricky one. This will be a really interesting one.
This will be an interesting one, because, I mean...
Ed is a really good player.
Ed is an excellent player and knows Empire just very well. I mean, not to say anything bad about the other Empire Dust list, but I think I prefer the Brewer Strength and the Mummies to the 2 Revenant Hordes.
Do you?
Personally, yeah. I like the smaller footprint. I think you don't lose a whole lot. You've got more crushing a bit more. You've got the more defense. I just think you've got a bit more rounded.
I definitely like the Brewer Strength and the Revenants. That's a given.
It's effectively the same points for 2 Revenant Hordes or the Brewer Strength Revenants with the Mummy Regiment.
Right, okay.
But the difference is you keep the defense 5 on both, and you have crushing on both. Obviously, a lot less attacks.
The region on the mummies. It's interesting.
I mean, it's the footprint for me, to be honest, with when you've got Surge shenanigans going on.
But then I can quite value bigger footprint myself. Being able to cover that much of the board.
Yeah.
Especially in the shambling list. For me, if you're running a shambling list, your key thing is blocking off the board and not just in front of you, but to the flanks as well.
But that's what you're playing giants for, aren't they?
Yeah.
And your Pharaoh. It's going to be a tricky one. It's going to be a scenario will play a big part here. If it's a scenario where Ian can sit back.
Yeah, if Ian's got to come forward, then I think Ian is going to struggle with this.
I know it's awful to say this will be dicey, I think.
Yeah.
It's how much wearing down Ian can do before getting into Ed.
Before getting bogged down.
I mean, probably more than we're thinking, to be honest. I know there's a lot of defence, there's a lot of nerve, but you put enough shots into it, it will break.
It will.
But
the key one's defence 5, and Ian's not got a lot of piercing.
He's got piercing on the Archer Hordes, and he's got Black Iron Crown Main Chant. So you potentially got 2 piercing hordes with the chariots.
Oh no, this is a tricky one.
It is. The Master Hunter is an interesting choice. I don't dislike it.
That's another one that's perfect for just pinging a unit. And it's a potential turn 1 charge against the right army as well.
Yeah.
Not that he's going to use against this army, but...
No, well, it'll be a nice shooting at Curse High Priestess here. It'll be a pain. If you can get if you can get him in the right place, I mean, you're unlikely to be able to see because he's on a height one.
Mm-hmm.
Shooting a height one. To be honest, I'd put his 3 shots into the chariots.
You just wear them down.
I'll be interested to see this one. I think if Ian plays it slowly enough, I think he might have it.
I don't know. I'm leaning towards Ed.
That's good. I like him. Balanced.
Balanced opinion. Just because from my perspective, I'm scared of things like the Bone Giants, the Bone Dragons, and I think those are going to be really well placed against the Drakens.
I agree with you, but they work best at countering whatever's charged the Revenants and the Mummies. Whereas the Drakons can pick the charges and don't have to charge the Revenants and the Mummies.
They don't, but if they don't do anything, then...
No, that's true. They've got to do something at some point. I think the Flying Pharaoh is going to be the decider here.
Yeah.
Of how well it can use it.
So what you said earlier about having a horde of Drakens, which if they lock down the army, that can be worth their points. But I think if you've got 2 hordes of Drakens that do nothing but lock down, that's a waste of points.
Definitely.
So I think it's going to revolve around 2 things, which is Ian shooting before the Pharaoh gets involved, and what the Drakens can do all game.
Agreed. I mean, actually, also looking at the 2 Drakons and the chariot hordes, he's got the combat punch to take out the Revenants and the Mummies in one go. On a good roll.
Both
Drakons into the horde of the Revenants, and then something into your Mummies. Potentially.
It's a bit dicey.
With your Dragonlord. It's very dicey, but actually, if
it worked, yeah.
Yeah, because then you've just got your support.
If it has been weakened by shooting, then all the better.
My money's on Ian. But Ed's excellent, so who knows?
Yeah.
See if you can guess who it is if you've not been called it.
I don't know.
I don't know who it is, yeah.
George Kirk versus Martin Dinsley. Aren't they from the same region?
I think so.
Versus Ratkin.
We're now frantically reading this list because you can tell that we don't play these 2. Because these are 2 guys we don't play very often. So we're now frantically reading to see what on earth they got.
I do recognise George Kirk's list.
Yeah, I do.
That beat me.
Yeah. And I've played Martin a couple times as well. Death Engines, woo. Shooting, woo. I like how Martin has called this list Ratkins with Stealthy. As in, it's so exciting that he's put the fog in the list. And Andy has Veil of Shadows, so we're going to name it after it. I'm interested about the inclusion of Stealthy with Ratkin. I'm assuming you're struggling getting shot off a lot, which is odd. I
suspect perhaps that he was struggling for points to fill.
Do you think? Because the fog is a odd choice in a horde of shock troops.
Yeah.
What's shooting your shock troops?
Yeah.
In breath. I mean, it can all be meta dependent. If you're coming up against a lot of breath, for example. I mean, actually, against, say, the Nasty Goblin lists, but the Goblin lists aren't shooting at you. You've just got more hordes to back it up with. I mean, he actually only has the 2 hordes, which is quite unusual for a Ratkin list.
Well, it's got 2 hordes and 2 regiments.
Oh, yeah, but it's unusual not to have 6 hordes.
It's also unusual that he's only got the 2 regiments of slaves. What else is there in this list? Warlock and Swarm Criers. Oh, okay.
With a Veil of Shadow. So you've got Stealthy twice.
He's got...
I'm guessing Stealthy is twice. Second is going to go on your other shot troop horde.
He's got Shooting versus Night Stalkers.
Yeah, well, it's Stealthy versus Stealthy. Except one of them's paid a lot more points for it.
Yeah.
And it's not...
Well, one of them's paid for shooting and the other one hasn't.
Yeah.
But it's not that stealthy, it's only got the one stealthy, hasn't it?
That's well, and Veil of Shadows. So 2.
Potentially 2.
Potentially
2.
You can tell we don't play Night Stalkers. I don't play Night Stalkers a lot.
Yeah, it's hard for me
to remember what everything bloody does in Night Stalkers. Romantic has to get a new... I mean, the Butcher's block is the... everything gets brutal and +1 speed on the Shadow Hulk. So we can speed 6 along with it. Which is good. You know? Cushion 3, Mind Thirst. monster. It's effectively the Night Stalker guy.
It's a tough one, is this one, because while I think the shooting's going to be fairly ineffective against George's list,
He hasn't got a lot of attacks.
Yeah.
Just sheer number of attacks.
Yeah.
That's a lot of nerve.
Yeah. I mean, if the Void Lurkers get behind lines, that's game for...
True, it is, yeah, because there's not a whole lot. I mean, the Death Engines can spin and shoot, but
then they're -1 to hit for moving, -1 for... So they're only hitting on 6s, the weapon teams are hitting on 5s.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. I mean, you've got to play...
Are the Void Lurkers stealthy?
No, probably not, actually, because it's one of those ones where...
Tell how much we play Night Stalkers.
No, they're not stealthy. No, they're the regening monster ones, aren't they?
Well, the Void Lurkers can still sit out of range of the weapons teams. If they can take the weapons teams out, then great. But if it comes down to a frontal attack, then I would have to give it to Martin.
It's an interesting list of Martins. It's not like the other Ratkin list that I see.
It's very much like the other Ratkin lists I see.
But it's missing. Well, not missing. It's just got some odd choices.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's...
I mean, the shock troops are wonderful.
Yeah.
The strength of them is wonderful. I mean, I suppose the problem George may have is that again, we've said it before, you've got to break the hordes in one go in there, because the shock troops attacking back will one-shot almost everything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, the Dash 20, low defense stuff is the problem.
Yeah, but they've got rallying around, so they're going to be 22, 24.
Actually, they'll hold nicely there.
Yeah, if it comes down to a straight battle lines meeting each other, then I'm afraid I think that's fairly comfortably Martin's. But
George's list doesn't shout battle lines meeting, does it?
No, it doesn't. And he is cagey enough to be getting those flanks. When I played him, he was picking up on the small manoeuvres, which got him those very tasty flanks.
I mean,
I think if you can pull off one or two decent flanks with those Void Lurkers, then
you've got so many overlapping flyers here. You know, your Phantoms, your Void Lurkers. You know, you've then got your quicker monsters. You know, your Shadow Hulk. You know, Nabi Speed 6.
George has definitely got the control of the board.
Yeah,
it's whether he can find a way in that's safe.
Yeah, because all the while you're doing that, you're shooting your claw shots.
Not much.
Well, your claw shots and your Death Engines put out a decent amount of shooting.
True.
There's a lot of nerve in some of these things, but not. Actually, to be fair, your Void Lurkers are 17, 19. They're going to take it in the defensive regen.
Yeah.
The Phantoms are actually the ones that are going to struggle with that shooting most.
But then they're cheap enough to be chaff. But they're
going to be useful here, I think. I think they're useful to overlap with the Void Lurkers.
Yeah. So if you can keep them out of range, then out of sight, then he's laughing, or in cover. And the Phantoms are actually stealthy, so that helps them.
That's true. I mean, there's only the one source of Surge, which is also on a Speed 7 guy, so probably should read the Night Stalker list or something.
Well, the Surge, you don't really need so much in this list. It's just nice to have. It's
more for the Phantoms, an interesting one. That you can use that ability to stay out of sight, move, jump, get those charges off on. You know, if you can start taking out, one of those in the flank of a regiment of shock troops actually is really quite scary.
It is. Don't think that'd be the end of the world. That'd be 6 or 7 damage.
Yeah.
It's going to come down to whether George can pull off some tasty flanks and rears.
Yeah, it is.
Scenario play is going to be a thing as well. If Martin can bully his way up by pushing right up in George's face,
I can see this being a game of kill.
Yeah.
Up until
I think this will be a really interesting. Another one that's really interesting to watch.
I think the way George is going to play this is almost just ignore the scenario and just play kill for 5 turns.
Yeah.
And then turn around and run onto a scenario at the end. It will be. I know George, and I know he can play it really well. So I'd love to see him get these, sneaky flanks and bits in. But yeah, interesting one.
Definitely.
So yeah, hopefully you've half enjoyed this. We rambled on and didn't rehearse and didn't have any practice, as you can probably tell. We've gone for a very high-tech setup. Sat in my living room. But yeah, we're really, really looking forward to it. I'm really glad that we get to be there, even if we didn't qualify. I'm glad to go watch it again.
Yeah,
it's great. I really can't stress enough how fun the Masters is and how much it is for everybody. I think, I get wound up a bit when people say about the Masters and comment, and people say, "Oh, well, what's the point? It takes the fun out of it by, playing it to a competitive level or by looking at the rankings. If you don't like it, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do like it, don't take it away from anybody else. But it's open to everybody. Anyone can get in. It's not. You really only need, to come to events. And I'd say to everybody, come to events. But it's great fun and it's all played in the right spirit.
Yeah.
So yeah, looking forward to it. Any other?
No, I think we've covered everything.
Comments? Yeah. Right, we'll see you all on Saturday.
See you on Saturday.
Yeah. Sorry for anybody that didn't like the matchup, but what we've said. Anything really.
And if anybody does like it, you're welcome.
You're welcome. Like it, subscribe. Come to our tournament in June.
Yes.
Everybody has to go on Facebook right now and search for the Tale of Three Kingdoms. Don't worry, I'm going to promote this to the hell out of the Masters. You think it's going to be a Masters stream, and I'm just going to put the sign. Saying Tale of Three Kingdoms.
So yes, we should say that we've got 2 tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, let's pause for a minute. Let's get the dates up and then...
Because you're going to ask me, I can tell you the dates of one of them, but not the other.
Yeah.
March 17th, I think it is. St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah. So, we have 2 tournaments coming up. We have a one-day event, which is on March the 17th, and that's Element Games. And then we have our magical team tournament, which is on the 1st and 2nd of June.
Yep. Both are Element Games in Stockport. If you search on Facebook for Northern Kings events, it's all on there, all the information. Just to talk a bit about the team event, it's the first in the UK. It's a 2-day weekend tournament. Everyone will play 5 games all the way through, so it's not like one big game or you don't play as a team. You play 2,000 points, 5 games as you would normally. The difference is the first round teams randomly matched against each other, and then it goes on Swiss, but by your team. Then after that, there's like a mini game decides who plays who within those teams, and all the score goes towards your team's final score. So even if you draw, win, lose, all of that goes into one pot of score. So it means it's always worth carrying on playing. It's always worth, even if you're going to lose, going for that. I want that last objective. I want that last token.
And our scoring system is set up for that. It's to reward scenario play. And the thing that we're really pushing with the team tournament is the social aspect.
Yeah,
so what we're doing is we're spending a lot on food for our event. We've got quite some really good plans for that. But we're also putting on an evening function. We've hired out a function room and we have a hot buffet for everybody.
Buffet. Yeah. Down at the local pub, we've got music. We're going to have a pub quiz in part of it. We had the idea before Mantic. Can't let that one go. But yeah, we really think that weekend tournaments, social aspects is just as important as the games.
Absolutely.
We're not going to be playing, but we don't care because we're going to be there and part of it and enjoying it.
Yeah.
We also, a bit of a plug here, think it'd be a great one for any international players that want to come visit us. We are 15 minutes from Manchester International Airport. There's hotels all around, cheap hotels, and you're sorted for your food and everything. Yeah. So you don't need to worry about where you're going to eat, what you're going to do. You just turn up and we'll feed you. Lunch, hot lunch on both days, hot tea, dinner, evening meal, whatever you call it.
We'll see if we can source some breakfast to order.
We might be able to find some breakfast to order, yeah. Element Games do breakfast. Oh, no, they don't, you know.
They don't.
No, cut that bit out.
That was my problem with it last time.
Element Games used to do breakfast.
Yep, and I got there and there was no breakfast. And I was like, I want to start drinking. I don't have breakfast.
Also, you can drink all the way through. You don't have to.
You don't have to.
It can be a family-friendly tournament as well. Well, it is.
But there will be drinking.
There will be drinking, but it would be a great one actually for any school leagues or anything like that because you could have adult and 2 down, or as long as there's there. It will be a great one for any gaming group like that wants to do it together.
Yeah.
I think the really big thing that I would push is that every single point matters in this format. So whereas sometimes when you're losing a game, you think, well, what does it matter? I've lost one game, I can't possibly win now. Well, if you're not the most confident player, but all of your points still matter towards your team's score. So it's always worth playing to the last minute and grabbing that last thing or killing that last unit.
Absolutely. Cool.
Right.
Well, thank you very much, everyone.
Yes. See you soon.